Sal, who's to blame for the Nets being down 0-2?
That explains this seating arrangement. You need both of y'all over there to handle the big dog. I used to take double teams, turn the hips, turn the head up, and get through that gap. Oh, man. It's Kevin Durant. Put him back up there. It's Kevin Durant. Oh, he right there? Yeah, it's KD, man. Let's talk about leadership. Let's talk about the group setting in terms of playing the game of basketball and how important it is for Kevin Durant to just always be Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant is not who he is, all of a sudden it allows others to not be who they are.
Okay.
Now, that in a group setting is a problem because we count on you, Kevin Durant, to not only be reliable, but be the leader, be the one not only in buckets, but also in terms of mentality and dynamic. You got to be the guy that leads this charge. And when Kevin Durant struggles one time and then comes back and struggles again, it reminds me of Stack when I don't complain outwardly. Inside my head, I got a lot of conversations going on and things I don't like. Right. But I don't project that. You know why? Because in a group setting, as soon as I let something out, everyone else starts to exhale. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, since Marcellus said that, well, then therefore it starts to snowball. Mm-hmm. Hate to stereotype all of us here, but it looks like we could play some dominoes. Right. I ain't talking about bones. I'm talking about, that's incredible dominoes when they stack them up like this behind each other. When Kevin Durant falls, guess what? Everything gonna start falling. And to me, Kevin Durant gonna have to step it up. I don't know why he's going through this funk, especially in the first round against the Boston Celtics when they're not led by champions. But it's happening right now. But it's on Kevin Durant to fix this. If not, it's all going to fall down.
Man, I'm with you. It's embarrassing what KD is doing out there right now. And KD is one of the greatest scorers the game of basketball has ever seen. But, Stack, it's embarrassing. When I look at it, I've looked at the NBA playoffs in totality thus far, and all the ballers are balling. Except KD. DeRozan last night, 41 points, put the team on his back. Embiid last night, 33 points, put the team on his back. Steph Curry, 34 points off the bench, helped put the team on his back. Ja Morant, 23 when they got their dub. The ballers are balling. Giannis, he started double-double. First game, got a dub. Everybody that's a baller right now in the playoffs, including Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant's teammate, been balling. Jayson Tatum game one when they got the dub. Balling. The ballers are balling. Big-time players, big-time plays, and big-time games. KD, you the biggest of players. You the most big time, but he not balling. So when I look at it, I can't blame Kyrie. Kyrie gave you 39 game one. He did all he could do. I can't really blame Seth Curry. What he's supposed to do? He the third best player on the team, and he in a position where he shouldn't even be the third best player on the team. Right. He's not that level of talent as it pertains to right now with NBA players and who their third best is. So it's all on KD. I appreciate him taking the ownership of it, but to me, that's not enough, Stack.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, but it's on Steve Nash. How many times we get black coaches that get in put positions where they have nobody on their roster and they instantly get fired? He needs to be on the hot seat. How many black coaches walk into a position where they got KG and Kyrie on the sideline and they get scrutinized for not winning? It's Steve Nash's fault. You have Marcus Aldridge, you have Blake on the sideline. You have to put a better lineup in the game to take a lot of pressure off KD and Kyrie. KD is 7 foot. If he's bringing the ball up every play and have to work hard 6-7 crossovers to get a jump shot when you can just run the play for him to catch it in the paint or by the box where he can just shoot over people, it makes it easier. He is not putting these guys in the position to be successful. Yeah, you can throw a ball out there and have KD and Kyrie go one-on-one and score on everybody. That's not winning basketball in the playoffs. Yeah. You have young guys that have no experience. You have to use some of those vets on your bench and rely on them because the game slows down. The total blame is on Steve Nash. He's getting out-coached by a coach, Ime Udoka, who has championship experience from being around Pop.
He's
and
Nigerian,
it's showing.
by the way. He's Nigerian.
He's Nigerian. Say it then. Say it.
He's Nigerian. But what he's bringing to Boston, the attitude, the physicalness, that's all comes from San Antonio. They're playing defense. They're beating KD up. They just punking Brooklyn. And that's what's going on.
Okay, Stack, look, I'm going to push back, but trust me, I ain't trying to go at the chains. I ain't doing none of this, but I'm going to push back. First of all, we need to calm down now. You know me. We got to keep this balance up here. We're talking about KD, how sorry he is and embarrassing. He had 27 in a bad game. This dude's silly. He fall out the bed with pajamas on, still getting 27 and not even playing well. Good Lord.
It ain't over.
Free throws.
It ain't over.
Free throws.
Let's start. Yeah, he had to see the ball go in the hoop somehow. He wasn't making nothing else. KD was doing this. I was like, damn, KD. Next game. Let's talk about Steve Nash, because I brought it up in the first block. When Kyrie thought he had a clean steal, and it was a foul, And then he looked at Steve Nash, and I saw that look. It was the look that I only had maybe once or twice from my coaches. It was like, hey, you better do something for me. And I've seen a lot of Hall of Famers and greats look at coach like that, like, I know your label is, you're my authority figure, but you better listen to me right now. Steve Nash in that moment caved and challenged the play that everyone knew was a foul. They lost the timeout. They lost the challenge, whatever. Why do I bring that up? You said we need to look at Steve Nash. Remember how this all started. Steve Nash comes into the Brooklyn Nets as the first-time head coach. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on podcasts say,
we don't want a coach.
We don't want a coach. Matter of fact, he ain't going to be like our coach. Matter of fact, we're going to change what coaching looks like. Right. They said that.
Jock can do it some nights.
Yeah, Jock Vaughn could be our coach some nights. And to that point, you're starting to see that manifest right now. They don't have a proper plan that everyone's buying into. Maybe that starts with Steve Nash, or maybe that starts with the buy-in. It starts with the players, the leaders on the court. Because coach can say all he wants. Hey, don't jump off sides. Hey, I need you to run up and down the court. But then it's on you to do that, especially when you're a great like Kevin Durant or a great like Kyrie Irving. So as much as we want to blame Nash, he don't cross those lines. He stands back there. I can't put it all on Nash.
Stack, I'm with Sal on this one, surprisingly, because if you are that great, KD and Kyrie, y'all got to take some ownership. Like, think about who LeBron James won with. At least think about who LeBron James, when he was in his heyday.
Who he won with? Hall of Famers. Go ahead.
Ooh. He made him Hall of Famers. I'm talking about coaches. Spoelstra wasn't proven before LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, Spoelstra was perennially getting out in the first round. LeBron James shows up. It's like that. Mike Brown. Who is Mike Brown without LeBron James? Think about when you talk about.
He was a championship coach for LeBron James, though.
True, but my point being,
right here.
Yeah.
But my point being, when you talk about the head man,
coach,
it's different roles. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, if you are that much of a dude, even if your head coach gets in your way, and I'm sure you heard this before, Sales heard it before, I heard it before, overcome coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, every now and then it's overcome coaching. Yeah. I'm looking at Kevin Durant as one of the best players in the world to overcome coaching. I'm looking at Kyrie Irving as one of the best players in the world, overcome coaching. Even when Steve Kerr was dealing with the back injury and the health issues in that 2015-16 era, and Luke Walton stepped up, they still was getting buckets.
Anybody
and still
can coach that team. Stop it.
But that shouldn't.
What Luke Walton did in Sacramento.
But here's my point. Shouldn't anybody be able to coach KD and Kyrie if they are that good? T-Mac just went out and said 3 days ago, the most skilled duo in basketball history, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
I agree.
More than D-Wade and LeBron, more than Pip and Jordan, and D-Wade and LeBron agree with him.
Right.
So if you can't coach KD and Kyrie, who can?
I think coaches get players to buy in. And coaches teach through players to make everybody else buy in. Perfect example. Pop had a certain way that he coached, and he wanted the Spurs to run. Mm-hmm. When he wanted to get to me, Tony Parker, Ginobili, he went through Tim. Yeah. So instead of just come and get on us for messing up, he'll get on Tim first. And we sit at the bench like, he going off on Tim. We got to take it and buy in to get going, right?
Yeah.
So I think it is kind of Steve's fault, because I don't see him holding nobody accountable. When Kyrie gets a rebound and just dribbles it real nonchalant in the third quarter, and Tatum come hit the ball with his leg, you're supposed to be more a sense of urgency in a rebound. Get it, move it out. But everything is so nonchalant because nobody's been held accountable. And that starts with the head coach.
But I got something, Sam. I got something.
All right.
They always say the borrower is slave to the lender, right? The borrower is slave to the lender. Steve Nash got left this job by Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Only reason Steve Nash is in this position is because of KD and Kyrie. So if the borrower is slave to the lender and they lent them the job, he can only hold them so much accountable, because at the end of the day, I'm going to fire you. Check me if you want to, Steve Nash, but if somebody got to go, Steve Nash, Kyrie, KD. Who going first? Steve Nash. So aren't Steve Nash's hands tied to some degree, because at the end of the day, KD and Kyrie are in the power position?
His hands can't be tied because we don't use that same standard for black coaches.
Oh, damn.
So his hands can't be tied.
What's the standard? What's the difference between white?
Because we see too many black coaches that get players, they get jobs, but they don't get a roster off the rip like KD, Blake Griffin, and Kyrie Irving. They get the BS jobs where they have no roster.
Well, and they get a year and get fired.
He has a great roster with great players that probably won't get fired even if they win or lose. So that's why he needs to be held accountable.
I don't know if that's based on color. I think one.
Hold up, Sal.
Let's be real. In general, if you're going to get a coaching job, it's going to be a bad job in general because the good coach is going to stay still. And so there's only going to be less opportunities and worse opportunities. This one is an anomaly. Let's be real about that. It could have been a black coach, it could be a white coach, whoever it is.
History tells us, though, when the brothers get the job,
Damn, I ain't do my research
it's
on
the
this.
teams that's really starting all over.
Okay.
That's you, Doc Rivers.
Well,
That's it.
What?
That's Doc Rivers. Where did Monty start? They threw him in New Orleans. Scrubs in New Orleans. Now he's finally get to the point where he got a good team because they built that over there in Phoenix.
But
with
their
James
problems
Jones, with
today
James
aren't
Johnson.
based on if they had a black coach, it'd be better. Their problems today is they didn't buy into their coach no matter what his color was from hello, and now we're starting to see it.
We're getting opportunities.
But this dynamic is beyond colors. Let's be real. We talked about you got to have someone who's going to enforce the rules, you said. Tim Duncan. Look, I'm going to go through Tim Duncan, and then y'all going to see. If I could go at Tim Duncan, I could go at you.
Right.
In football, more so than basketball, but I see it in both sports, someone you need to enforce the rules. Tom Brady comes to mind for me. And then somebody high up that everyone respects, as the coach, need to be able to execute him. That means I can embarrass him in front of everybody, and everybody like, damn, if you do it to him, you get me, right?
Right.
Who on the Nets is that person? Let's look at the starting lineup. You can't do that to Steph Curry because Steph Curry is like thankful for this job, right? You can't do that to Andre Drummond. He's thankful for this job. You can't do that to Bruce Brown because he's too young and people are like, he's thankful for this opportunity. So then no one around them can be executed to make one of them two, Kyrie or KD, enforce what Steve Nash wants on the court. So this right now is a power dynamic. All that said, they still gonna win this series. That's what's so crazy about this.
You say they can't get on Brown. He's one of the people that definitely he should be able to get on.
He should, but then is that going to make Kyrie and Kevin Durant stand up taller? Is that going to make them respond? They are in a different stratosphere in terms of connection to the rest of their starting lineup and certainly the bench, right? More than any other dynamic we probably seen.
Here's what I think y'all are missing.
There's no Chris Bosh there to even be like,
But here's what I think y'all are missing is you got to remember who got there first. Belichick could get on Brady. Belichick got there first.
True.
Pop could get on Tim Duncan. Pop got there first. When you got to when Brady got to where you at now, Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians getting on Brady.
Yeah, he
but
did.
Bruce Arians was there first. You can't show up in somebody else's house and start barking out. They want to chip. They want to chip.
Where Bruce Arians now? He kicked him out.
Fair. But I'm saying
Bruce Arians went up to.
Yeah, he went up to the top. He being a little. He went up top. But I'm saying this. I'm saying this. You can't show up to somebody else's house and start barking out orders. And Steve Nash showed up to KD's house and showed up to Kyrie's house. I don't know, Stack, if you can expect Steve Nash to start barking. You just got here.
Well, so basically what you're saying is he's Vogel. He's not the coach for that team.
I don't disagree, but can he get his chip first?
Well, who is the coach for that team then? What person has stature, has presence, has the resume?
We going somewhere now.
You know who was coach when the Lakers won? Jason Kidd. That's who kept everything together. Soon as he left, things go haywire.
But what was the success level before he left? I mean, injuries, I understand, but Brooklyn hasn't won anything. This is their third year.
Jason Kidd didn't win a championship.
They
My
would
thing, big dog. We talking about two dudes who don't want to be coached.
That's what they said.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
We talking about two players who are based on the way they play the game and based on their actions on and off the court, at least are believed to be selfish individuals.
Right.
Am I tripping, Sal? Make sure I ain't tripping.
Based on their actions off the court, are
believed to be individuals
who beat their own drum.
Thank you. At least let's do that.
People call me selfish, but nobody played the game harder than me. I might didn't do everything they wanted me to do off the court, but when it came to my job, I'm giving 110%.
Fair. So that two dudes that march to the beat of their own drum. I don't know if anybody can coach him. Kevin Durant showed up to a Warriors team that already had a full steam ahead. All KD had to do was go get buckets. You ain't even tell KD what to do. He just gonna go get buckets. Because KD, even without you, we a 73-win squad.
But he bought in.
He did. But he bought into getting buckets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyrie, on the other hand, he was doing nothing in Cleveland without Braun. He leaves to go to Boston. Boston collectively gets worse. Kyrie leaves Boston. Boston gets better again. I don't know if these dudes have a coach that is capable of coaching them because they don't want to be coached. You can't parent a kid that don't want to be parented, Sal.
Yeah, well, shoot.
You can try.
In my house, if not, you're going to Uncle Acho house. You're going to be parented in my house. I ain't paying the mortgage. They ain't getting punked. So you got me tripping.
They said Kobe wasn't coachable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, you grew up, Stack, you grew up in Atlanta. You grew up?
I grew up in Texas. Pull out to Texas. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm asking. It was really a question. All right, so Texas. All right, Texas.
Nah, we grew up in Dallas. I'm from the city.
Okay, all right, good. Let me get, perfect. City. Country or burbs?
country.
Oh, definitely country.
Okay, country. Good.
You don't see no burbs in me.
We gotta have this story.
Hey, okay,
we gotta
off,
have this story
okay,
time.
first off,
It's coming out of you.
Hold on,
Okay,
watch
go
your
ahead.
mouth, big dog.
I'm just saying,
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with the
I'm
burbs,
sorry,
big
my bad,
dog?
my bad. Nothing wrong with the burbs.
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't have none of that in me.
I ain't like how he said that.
Ooh, this is perfect setup.
We got some. I ain't like how you said that.
You're not gonna do nothing though, because you know what? If you want to fight, you already fighting. So he already like, how long we gonna stall? Y'all ain't fighting. Yeah, then we fight. Okay, here we go. We in LA, so we gonna have an LA story, right?
Let's do it.
I'm gonna give it to you from. I'm glad we ain't got a moderator here. We can just talk this real.
Exactly,
Okay, so this is how it was in LA. I didn't lose a football game to my 4th year championship. Okay. So we were like 40-0, and then we lost our first game in my 4th year of my championship game. We lost to a suburban team. Now, the stereotype, which was real, was like all of us talented inner city kids, we would go out there to Orange County and mop up these teams. This is mid-'80s, okay? This is dynamic that's happening right here. It's called the curse of the gifted. Sometimes when you're so talented, you just believe in the talent before you believe in anything else. Coach starts talking technicalities and fundamentals. And you're like, man, stop. I just outrun everybody. We faced a team that only had 2 players that we would have said we wanted on our team. The rest of them dudes were just scrubs, but disciplined. And they were getting coached. And we got coached up too, but at the same time, we ran the same plays. We just kept it simple. We just believed in our talents. And then when you meet a collective fist versus 2 fingers sticking out, you're going to find out that this is going to win every single time. So right now, I'm looking at this dynamic, hate to stereotype it all, but it looks like they're just believing in their talent. They're just like, we don't need those plays. We're just going to do what we do. I'm going to dribble up. I'm going to do a couple plays, and that's it. What needs to happen is Kevin Durant, Kyrie need to buy into the group right now. I think they're going to still out-talent Boston. But if they want to go to where they really aspire to truly to that level to where that and with the rings, they're going to have to bring it together.
What's wrong with the burbs, though, man?
Nothing wrong with the burbs. I'm there now. MJ going to be that
I'm in
kid.
the burbs now, but I'm glad I didn't start off in the burbs because it made me hungry enough to be where I'm at now.
Oh, we're going to have another conversation. I think that's different with MJ.